Denver, Colorado Greyhound Bus Terminal. Hundreds of people are seen walking around the terminal. As Merconi looks around the terminal, he can see people standing on lines with bags, women sitting in the terminal with their children, and vending machines in the background. After the long trip on the bus, I needed to find a restroom. I noticed a restroom sign posted at the far end of the terminal. I began walking quickly towards it. On the way to the restroom, I noticed from the corner of my eye that one of the Flynn brothers was following me. The young man smiles as he walks alongside of me. I then took a good look at the young man. I prepared myself for the young man's bullshit pitch. I was glad that I was wearing boots. Greg Flynn was a young white man, approximately age 25, with blonde short hair with blue eyes, standing about 6 foot tall, wearing a dark winter coat and a brown khaki pair of pants. "Hi, my name's Greg. I'm going to New York. Where are you going?" Merconi picks up his walking pace before answering. "I'm going to the bathroom." Merconi enters the restroom and walks over to the urinal to relieve himself. The young man walks over to the sink and washes his hands. After washing his hands, he turns to start another conversation with Merconi. "I've never been to New York City before. I hear it's a great place to party." Merconi is still draining the fluid out of his body and pays no attention to Greg Flynn's comment. The man is determined to engage Merconi in a conversation to answer his questions. "Are you going to New York?" "I'm going to Chicago." "Chicago? I've never been to Chicago. Do you have family there?" "Yes, I do." "How long are you staying in Chicago?" "If you want to ask me any more questions, you're going to have to buy a vowel. Now, if you excuse me, I like to wash my hands." "It was nice meeting you." "Yeah, right." Greg Flynn smiles and leaves the bathroom. Merconi turns on the faucet to the sink and washes his hands and face. Merconi pulls a comb from his pocket and combs his hair while looking in the mirror. Merconi then takes a moment to reflect on the recent encounter in the bathroom. Merconi thinking out loud. "Nice meeting you. Yeah, right. Like I'm going to tell someone that I met a really nice guy named Greg Flynn while taking a piss in a bathroom in a bus terminal in Denver, Colorado." The entire time I'm relieving myself, I was thinking, what if this guy tries to attack me? I didn't want to end up on the 6 o'clock news. I wasn't going to be remembered like Light and the Loafers Senator Larry Craig. If I was going to be taken out, it was going to be on my own terms. Merconi leaves the restroom and heads over to the McDonald's in the terminal to get something to eat. Merconi stands online, then studies the menu and orders from the clerk. He then pays for his meal, and the clerk immediately comes back with his food on a tray. Merconi finds a seat in the corner and starts eating his meal. Merconi quickly finishes his meal and then walks back and gets online to board the next bus. Merconi now studies the terminal but sees no signs of Woody Wilcox. Once online, Merconi's mind begins to race. Was he telling me the truth? Your guess was as good as mine. The bruises on the side of his head were real. I felt something under the skin just below the hairline that was definitely something floating under his skin. Merconi's thoughts are now interrupted as he spots the Flynn brothers standing on a different line. They were going to be boarding another bus that was also headed to Chicago via the state of Kansas. Merconi's bus would travel through the state of Nebraska to get to Chicago. Merconi again thinking out loud. I was breathing a sigh of relief for a moment, but I still had a great distance to travel before I got to New York. As I waited to board the next bus, a thought occurred to me. Why weren't the Flynn brothers on my bus? I knew they were following me, but why had we split up? I knew their final destination was New York. I watched as the Flynn brothers boarded their bus. My bus would depart approximately 20 minutes later from the Denver terminal.